Let me ask you something, and I want you to be honest with yourself. Is it possible that you are unknowingly shortening your life after the age of 70? Making simple, everyday mistakes that millions of other American seniors are making right at this very moment. Now, I'm not talking about some rare disease or a freak accident. I'm talking about something much closer to home. In fact, there is one specific place that 80% of seniors visit regularly. A place that many emergency room doctors I know are now calling a hidden death trap. It's a nightmare that unfolds in plain sight, and what's so terrifying is how normal it all seems. Right up until the moment it's too late. In my years as a family doctor, I've seen a shocking truth that most people find hard to believe. The greatest dangers we face in our later years often don't come from the things we fear the most. They come from our smallest habits, our simple words, and the everyday places we go without a second thought. This isn't just a theory from a textbook. I'm talking about real people. I think about a patient of mine, Eleanor, a wonderful, sharp 73-year-old from Denver. She believed she was doing everything right to stay independent. But in one devastating week, something she said to her doctor, a daily habit she refused to change, and a place she visited every Wednesday, nearly cost her everything she had worked her entire life to build. What happened to Eleanor happens to thousands every single month. But it does not have to happen to you. In this video, I'm here to arm you with the knowledge to stay safe. I will reveal 4 phrases you must stop saying, 4 actions you must stop doing, and 4 places you must never visit alone. And please, make sure you stay with me until the end, because I will reveal exactly which place is that hidden death trap. The information in that final section might just save a life, maybe even yours. Everything I share is grounded in research from world-renowned institutions like Harvard Medical School, the Mayo Clinic, and the CDC. Before we dive in, I truly want to know if Eleanor's story resonated with you, or if you've ever had these worries for yourself or someone you love. Please just take a moment to comment with a simple yes below. It helps show others in our community that they are not walking this path alone. Okay, let's get started. Alright, let's begin with the first part of our guide. 4 phrases you should never say. These are the subtle words that we speak to ourselves and others. Words that can shape our reality in truly dangerous ways. First on our list is a phrase I hear all too often. Number 1, I'm too old to learn new technology. When you say those 7 words, you're doing more than just stating a belief. You're giving your brain a direct command. A command to stop growing, to stop adapting. And your brain, ever obedient, listens. Groundbreaking research from Harvard Medical School confirms something incredible. Our brains can keep forming new connections, new pathways, well into our 80s and beyond. This is a beautiful process called neuroplasticity. But here's the catch. It only happens when we challenge it. When we tell our brain we are too old, we are essentially telling those neural pathways to shut down, accelerating cognitive decline. That feeling of being isolated, confused, or forgetful. It often starts with this simple, self-defeating sentence. In fact, the Harvard researchers found that seniors who regularly engage with new technology have up to 40% better memory retention than those who avoid it. 40%. That is not a small number. I think of my patient, Walter, a 76-year-old retired mechanic from Portland. For 3 years, the smartphone his kids gave him sat in a drawer, untouched. During that time, his family noticed his memory slipping, and he felt increasingly cut off from the world. But then he made a choice. He decided to learn just 1 new app each week, starting with the weather. Within 2 months, his cognitive test scores improved dramatically. Walter now manages his appointments online and video calls his grandchildren. He proved that age is never a barrier. The barrier is the mindset. So please, let's retire that old, toxic phrase. Replace it with this powerful alternative. I'm discovering something new today. You don't have to be an expert. Just start with 5 minutes a day. Explore 1 new button on your phone. That small act sends a powerful signal to your brain. We are still growing. If you believe our brains can keep learning at any age, and you're ready to embrace that, please comment mindset below. It's a declaration for yourself and an inspiration for others. Number 2. The doctor knows what's best for me. Now, this one sounds respectful, doesn't it? It sounds like we are putting our trust in the experts. But blind trust can be deadly. As a doctor, I can tell you that the healthcare system is incredibly strained. A physician might see dozens of patients in a single day. We rely on our notes, on our charts, but we are still human. We can't possibly remember every single detail of your unique health journey unless you speak up. When you stay silent, assuming the doctor knows everything, you give up your power. You become a passive passenger in your own healthcare. And this is where dangerous errors happen. The Mayo Clinic conducted sobering research on this very topic. Their studies revealed that seniors who never question their doctors experience 40% more dangerous drug interactions and undergo 60% more unnecessary procedures. Think about that. These are not minor issues. I'll never forget my patient, Arthur, a 74-year-old from Tampa. For months, he'd been feeling dizzy and tired, but he never brought it up. He figured, if it were important, the doctor would ask. It wasn't until his daughter convinced him to be more proactive that the truth came out. He learned to ask 3 specific questions at each visit, and his doctor quickly realized that a combination of 2 medications was causing all his symptoms. Arthur's energy returned in days, and he avoided a fall that could have easily ended his independence. So, from now on, you are the co-pilot of your health. Before you leave any doctor's office, you must have clear answers to these 3 questions. First, what exactly is this new prescription, and why do I need it? Second, what are the potential side effects I should watch for? And third, how will this interact with my current treatments? Write them down. Your life depends on it. This is so important. If you promise to ask at least one of these questions at your next doctor's visit, comment advocate. Number 3, I don't want to be a burden. Oh, how often I have heard these words. They are spoken from a place of love, of pride, of consideration for others. But I must tell you, with all the seriousness I can muster, this seemingly kind phrase is a death sentence in disguise. Here's the core truth. Refusing help when a problem is small creates a much, much bigger burden when that problem becomes a crisis. When you wait until you've fallen, or your finances are in ruins, or you're in the hospital, that is the real burden. Asking for a little help along the way is the opposite. It is an act of preserving your independence. The science on this is absolutely clear. The American Geriatric Society has shown that seniors who refuse help when they need it face 45% higher rates of emergency hospitalizations and have life expectancies that are 30% shorter. Why? Because small, manageable issues, like trouble with groceries, confusion over bills, or feeling a bit unsteady, are allowed to spiral out of control. I think of George, a proud 71-year-old patient from Phoenix. He started having trouble keeping track of his bills, but he was too proud to ask his daughter for help. He didn't want to bother her. Within 6 months, late fees had cost him hundreds of dollars, his credit was damaged, and he was facing eviction notices. A problem that his daughter was able to solve in a single afternoon with automatic payments had become a catastrophe that threatened his home. Please, reframe your thinking immediately. You are not a burden. You are building a team. Your support team. So instead of saying, I don't want to be a burden, I want you to start thinking, I'm building my support team. Identify one person you could call for a ride, one for a household task, and one just to talk to. Reaching out early is the greatest gift you can give to yourself and the people who love you. If you've ever felt this way, you're not alone. Let's change the narrative. Comment team to show your commitment to building support. Number 4, my memory problems are just normal aging. This is perhaps the most dangerous myth of all. Dismissing a change in your memory as just a senior moment can cost you precious years of cognitive health. We have been conditioned to believe that significant memory loss is an inevitable part of getting older. It is not. Here is the vital, hopeful truth. Many of the conditions that cause memory problems in seniors are completely treatable, if they are caught early. This is why ignoring the early signs is so risky. You could be missing the narrow window of opportunity for intervention. Researchers at Johns Hopkins School of Medicine have done incredible work in this area. Their studies show that up to 40% of memory issues in seniors have nothing to do with Alzheimer's or dementia. Instead, they stem from things like vitamin deficiencies, especially B12, undiagnosed sleep disorders like sleep apnea, depression, or even the side effects of a medication you're taking. These are fixable problems. I remember Carol, a 72-year-old retired teacher from Seattle. She came to me because she was starting to forget common words and would lose her train of thought mid-sentence. Instead of brushing it off, she took action. We ran a full evaluation. It turned out she had a combination of severe sleep apnea and AB12 deficiency. After 3 months of treatment, just a CPAP machine and a simple supplement, her memory and focus returned to normal. She didn't have to lose those years of mental sharpness. So, here is your action plan. The moment you notice a change in your memory, no matter how small it seems, report it to your healthcare provider within 48 hours. Keep a small notebook. Write down specific examples, the date, the time, and what happened. This isn't about being paranoid. It's about being proactive. Early detection can preserve your mind for decades to come. This could be a life changer. If you understand the importance of early detection, comment on awareness. Alright, now that we've covered the 4 phrases to eliminate from your vocabulary, let's move on to the next critical area. 4 actions you must never do. These are the daily habits that feel harmless but can lead to disaster. Number 5. Never ignore balance problems or dizziness. Please, hear me on this. Dismissing a moment of dizziness or a feeling of unsteadiness as simply part of getting older is one of the most dangerous mistakes you can possibly make. A fall after the age of 70 is not a minor incident. It is a life-altering and often life-ending event. The statistics from the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, the CDC, are chilling. Falls are the #1 cause of injury-related death among American seniors. 1 older American dies from a fall every 19 minutes. Your balance is your lifeline, and any problem with it is a red alert warning sign. Here's the core reason this is so critical. Your sense of balance is not just one thing. It's a complex system involving your inner ears, your vision, your muscles, and your blood pressure. Dizziness is never normal. It's your body screaming that something in that system is wrong. The CDC's data shows that even a mild balance problem increases your risk of falling by a staggering 300%. I think of Margaret, a lovely 69-year-old patient from Boston. She told me she felt a little woozy, sometimes when she stood up too fast. She waved it off. 3 weeks later, she fell in her bathroom and broke her wrist. The surgery and months of painful physical therapy that followed were devastating. But the real tragedy? During her recovery, her doctors discovered her dizziness was caused by a simple inner ear condition and a blood pressure issue, both of which could have been easily fixed if she had just spoken up sooner. Do not wait for a fall to be your wake-up call. Starting tomorrow morning, I want you to try 3 simple exercises. Number 1. Stand on 1 foot for 30 seconds, holding onto a counter for support. Number 2. Walk heel to toe across your bedroom. Number 3. Practice standing up from a chair without using your hands. If any of these feel difficult or make you dizzy, call your doctor that very same day. Your next stumble could be your last. Safety first. Comment safe if you'll try these simple balance exercises tomorrow morning. Number 6. Never skip meals or consistently eat alone. In our busy lives, it's easy to forget a meal. Or for many who have lost a spouse or live alone, cooking for one can feel lonely and uninspired. But I need you to understand, after 70, your body cannot afford for you to skip meals. It creates a rapid, downward spiral that can destroy your health. Here's the biological reason why. As we age, our bodies become less efficient at absorbing nutrients from food. This is a natural part of the aging process. It means that every single meal counts. When you skip a meal, your body goes into conservation mode. It starts breaking down muscle and bone to get the energy it needs. This is why malnutrition in seniors is so common and so dangerous. The National Institute on Aging has found that seniors who eat irregularly lose precious muscle mass 40% faster than those who stick to a regular schedule. This loss of muscle leads directly to weakness, frailty, and a much higher risk of falling. Furthermore, eating alone day after day is a major contributor to depression and cognitive decline, which in turn reduces your appetite even more. It is a vicious cycle. I saw this firsthand with Richard, a 73-year-old widower from Milwaukee. After his wife passed, he lost all interest in food. He'd skip breakfast, forget lunch. In just 4 months, he lost 25 pounds he couldn't afford to lose. He was constantly tired and sick. His doctor warned him he was on a path to the hospital. It wasn't until he joined a senior dining program at his local community center that things turned around. The simple act of sharing a meal with others brought his appetite and his spirit back to life. Here is your simple, life-saving plan. First, set 3 daily alarms on your phone labeled breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Do not ignore them. Second, find at least one eating companion each week. A neighbor, a family member, a church group. Third, prepare simple, healthy meals ahead of time. Your body is counting on that fuel. Nourishment is key. Comment healthy to make a pact to never skip a meal. Number 7. Never drive when you feel slightly off. We value our independence, and for many of us, our driver's license is the ultimate symbol of that freedom. The ability to just get in the car and go is something we cherish. But that freedom comes with an immense responsibility, especially when we feel even slightly unwell. Getting behind the wheel when you are tired, dizzy, confused, or just not feeling right can turn your car into a deadly weapon in the blink of an eye. What feels like a minor inconvenience, waiting an hour, or asking a son or daughter for a ride, can prevent a lifetime of regret. Here's why this is so critical for seniors. As we age, our natural reaction times slow down. This is a simple fact of life. When you add any level of physical or mental distress on top of that, be it from fatigue, medication side effects, or a simple headache, your ability to process information and make split-second decisions plummets. AARP's research on senior driving safety is eye-opening. They found that reaction times can slow by up to 40% when a senior drives while feeling off. This increases the risk of an accident by a shocking 250%. I think of David, a 70-year-old from Dallas. He felt a bit lightheaded one morning but had a doctor's appointment and didn't want to be a bother. Halfway there, his dizziness got worse. He rear-ended another car at a red light. Thankfully, no one was seriously hurt, but David was devastated. The irony was heartbreaking. His doctor later discovered a simple medication timing issue was causing the dizziness, a problem that could have been solved with a phone call instead of a car crash. So, I'm asking you to make a solemn promise to yourself and to everyone else on the road. Before you start your car, every single time, ask yourself this question: do I feel as alert and focused as I did when I passed my driving test? If the answer is anything other than an absolute yes, please find another way. Keep the number of a taxi service in your wallet. Your pride is not worth a life. This one can save lives. Comment alert if you promise to always do this self-check before driving. Number 8. Never isolate yourself from social connections. Of all the health advice I could give you, this might be the most important. Withdrawing from friends, family, and community after the age of 70 is more dangerous to your long-term health than smoking a pack of cigarettes a day. It is more dangerous than obesity. It is more dangerous than high blood pressure. That may sound like an exaggeration. It is not. It is a scientific fact, proven by one of the longest-running studies in history. The Harvard study of adult development has followed people for over 80 years, and its conclusion is undeniable. Strong social connections are the single greatest predictor of a long, healthy, and happy life. Here's what happens in your body when you're lonely. Your brain interprets social isolation as a constant, low-grade threat. This triggers a chronic stress response, flooding your body with hormones that damage your cardiovascular system, weaken your immune defenses, and literally accelerate the aging of your cells. Loneliness is a silent killer. I saw this with Edward, a 74-year-old retired engineer. After his best friend moved away, he gradually stopped going to his weekly poker game, and then he stopped attending church. He told his family he just didn't feel like it. Within 6 months, he was sleeping poorly, he was constantly anxious, and his memory was getting foggy. His daughter finally convinced him to volunteer at the local library, just 2 hours a week. The change was remarkable. Within 2 months, his mood, his sleep, and his mental sharpness had all returned. The medicine he needed wasn't in a pill bottle. It was a connection. So, I want you to treat your social life with the same seriousness as a medical appointment. Schedule one meaningful, face-to-face social interaction every single week. It must last at least 30 minutes. Coffee with a neighbor, a senior center activity, a church service. Put it on your calendar and make it non-negotiable. Connection is powerful medicine, and it's available to you starting today. Connection is medicine. Comment friend if you will schedule a social call or visit this week. We've now covered what not to say and what not to do. Finally, we arrive at our last, and perhaps most crucial, section. For places you must never go. Alone. These are the environments where your risk skyrockets. Number 9. Never go to medical appointments alone. Going to a doctor's appointment can be stressful. You're often worried, you're trying to listen intently, and you're being given a lot of complex information. It is nearly impossible for anyone, at any age, to process and remember all of it correctly on their own. When you attend an appointment alone after 70, you are putting yourself at a significant disadvantage. Your health and safety are on the line. Here is the core problem. Under stress, our ability to retain information plummets. Add in complex medical terminology and multiple instructions, and it's a recipe for misunderstanding and error. The research from the Johns Hopkins Patient Advocacy Institute is stunning. They found that seniors who attend appointments by themselves retain only about 30% of the important information discussed. 30%. But when they are accompanied by a family member or a friend, that number jumps to 85%. That advocate, that second set of ears, is your most important safety net. They are 70% more likely to catch potential medication errors and ask critical follow-up questions. I remember Susan, a 71-year-old from Phoenix. She went to her cardiologist alone and thought she understood her new treatment plan perfectly. But she had misheard a critical instruction about her blood thinner dosage. She ended up taking twice the recommended amount for 2 weeks. It was her daughter, at the follow-up visit, who caught the error. It was a mistake that could have easily caused a dangerous, life-threatening bleeding episode. Please, do not let this happen to you. From this day forward, bring a trusted family member or a friend to every single medical appointment. If no one can physically be there, ask the doctor's office if you can record the visit on your smartphone, or have a family member participate remotely via speakerphone. Prepare a list of questions beforehand and have your advocate take detailed notes. Your health is simply too important to navigate by yourself. You deserve the best care. Comment support if you'll bring someone to your next appointment. Number 10. Never go to unfamiliar places without a backup plan. Exploring a new place can be exciting. A new doctor's office across town, a different shopping center, or a social event in a neighborhood you don't know well. But that novelty also comes with a hidden risk. Venturing into an unfamiliar location without a simple safety plan can turn a minor incident into a major emergency. Here's why unfamiliar environments are so challenging. They lack the built-in safety cues our brains rely on. We don't automatically know the layout, where the stairs are, if the pavement is uneven, or where to find help if we feel unwell. This uncertainty puts our brains on high alert, consuming cognitive resources and increasing our risk of an accident. The National Institute on Aging has studied this extensively. Their research shows that seniors are 300% more likely to fall or become disoriented in an unfamiliar setting compared to a familiar one. And even more frightening, if a health crisis does occur in an unknown location, seniors wait an average of 6 hours longer for help to arrive. Every minute counts in an emergency. I think about Michael, a 72-year-old from Denver. He drove to a new specialist's office across town and didn't tell anyone where he was going. During the appointment, he felt a sharp pain in his chest, but he was embarrassed and didn't mention it. He decided to just drive home. He collapsed in his driveway 3 hours later. The paramedics later explained that his heart attack could have been treated far more effectively if he had gotten help immediately when the symptoms first started, back at the doctor's office. This is entirely preventable with a simple backup plan. Before you visit any new location, share your exact destination, your planned route, and your expected return time with at least 2 people. Download a location sharing app on your smartphone and activate it. And carry a small card in your wallet with your emergency contacts and any major medical conditions clearly listed. Never assume help will be there. Plan for it. Preparation is power. Comment plan if you'll start sharing your travel plans. Number 11. Never go to crowded events during peak illness seasons. Remember, at the beginning of this video, I mentioned a hidden death trap that 80% of seniors visit regularly. For many, this is it: crowded indoor gatherings during the holidays, flu season, or other periods of peak illness. A grandchild school play, a holiday concert, a packed church service. These events, filled with joy and community, can also be perfect breeding grounds for life-threatening infections. As we age, our immune systems naturally become less robust. This is a process called immunosenescence. It means our bodies are not as effective at fighting off viruses and bacteria as they were when we were younger. An infection that might just be a common cold for a 30-year-old can quickly escalate into pneumonia or severe bronchitis for someone over 70, often requiring hospitalization. The Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, the CDC, is very clear about this risk. Seniors are 5 times more likely to develop severe complications from respiratory infections. Their research shows that viruses can spread 400% faster in crowded, indoor environments. The temporary enjoyment of a crowded event is simply not worth risking weeks in a hospital or permanent damage to your lungs and heart. I saw this tragedy unfold with Betty, a 73-year-old from Chicago. She insisted on attending her grandson's crowded indoor graduation ceremony in December, despite her daughter's concerns. 3 days later, she had what seemed like a simple cold. But it rapidly worsened into a severe case of pneumonia that put her in the hospital for 2 weeks. Her doctors were blunt. Her immune system just couldn't handle the viral load from that environment. So, you must be strategic. Plan your social calendar to avoid large, indoor gatherings from November through March, when respiratory infections are at their peak. When you absolutely must attend, try to sit near an exit for better air circulation, avoid shaking hands, and wash your hands the moment you get home. Your most powerful defense is prevention. Your health is your wealth. If this was a surprising wow moment for you, comment prevention. Number 12. Never go to high-risk areas without support. Our final point is about recognizing and respecting the high-risk areas we encounter every single day, often within our own homes. These are the places with stairs, wet surfaces, uneven pavement, or poor lighting. A moment of overconfidence or distraction in one of these zones can lead to a fall that ends your independence permanently. Here is the hard reality. Our bodies change after 70. Our balance is less steady, our vision may not be as sharp, and our reaction times are slower. This means that an environment that was perfectly safe for us at 50 can become a minefield at 75. What might have been a small stumble in the past can now result in a fractured hip or a head injury. Emergency room data tells a sobering story. 60% of all serious fall injuries in seniors happen in these predictable, high-risk environments. And the consequences are severe. Research shows that seniors who fall in a high-risk area, like on a set of stairs, are 400% more likely to require surgery and 200% more likely to lose their ability to live independently compared to those who fall on a level surface. I'll never forget Frank, a 75-year-old from Atlanta. He decided to grab something from his basement storage area on a rainy day when the wooden stairs were just slightly damp. He wasn't rushing. He wasn't being careless. He just slipped. He fell down 3 steps and fractured 3 ribs. It required emergency surgery and 6 weeks of recovery, during which he couldn't live on his own. He told me later, "Nothing in that basement was worth this." So please, take a walk through your home today and identify every high-risk area. Install bright lighting, secure handrails, and non-slip surfaces wherever possible. And always use the assistive devices that are there to protect you. Use the handrail on the stairs. Use the grab bar in the shower. Even if you think you don't need it in that moment. Make your environment safe before it makes you unsafe. Let's make our homes a sanctuary. Comment home, safe home. As we come to the end of our time together, I want you to think back to the stories we shared. Remember Eleanor from Denver? And Walter, the retired mechanic? And Frank, who had that terrible fall on his basement stairs? They faced challenges that many of you might recognize in your own lives. Simple mistakes are born from habit, pride, or just not knowing the risks. But the most important part of their stories isn't the mistake they made. It is the simple, powerful choice they each made to change. Today, because of those small changes, they are thriving. They are living with more confidence, more safety, and more independence than they thought possible. Their stories prove that it is never too late to take back control. The message today, my friends, is a simple and hopeful one. Your 70s, 80s, and beyond can be your most empowered and independent decade yet. This isn't about avoiding life or living in fear. It's about embracing life wisely. You now have the knowledge. You have the power to choose which path you'll take. So, as we wrap up, I have one important question for you. Knowledge is only powerful when we put it into action. What is the one small commitment you are making to yourself or for a loved one after watching this video? It could be as simple as, I will try the balance exercises tomorrow morning. Or, I will ask my daughter to go with me to my next doctor's appointment. Or even, I will call a friend I haven't spoken to in a while. Please, share your personal commitment in the comments below. Your single sentence could be the spark of inspiration that someone else needs to see today. Let's fill that space with hope and action. And if you found real value and comfort in our time together, if this message mattered to you, please show your support by giving this video a like. To ensure you continue on this journey with us and never miss another video full of life-changing wisdom, hit that subscribe button. It's more than just subscribing. It's joining a community of friends, all dedicated to living our best lives together. Finally, think of one person in your life who needs to hear this message today. A spouse, a sibling, a dear friend. Please, share it with them. That simple act of sharing, it might just change their life. Thank you for watching. Stay healthy, stay wise, and I'll see you in the next video.